Before we get into it, I have a question for you. Have you ever felt completely lost? Kind of like being in quicksand. Either you found yourself and you need some help, or you haven't found yourself yet. I got you. We're going to help you get your happy life through your goals. I am Jen, your goal coach and the host of the Lost and Found podcast. We're going to discuss foundational work all the way to that big, bold goal of yours and how to break it down to achieve it, and everything in between. Now let's create your happy life. Let's get into this episode. Couple of things before we get super into this is I just want to be friggin' honest. Like, I'm having a week, guys, like a total week. And I don't know where it's stemming from. Actually, that's lies. I do know where it's stemming from. I totally do. I'm self-doubting. I have let things get to me. And so ironic that we're doing this because in our previous episode, we talked about 12 tips, right? Now we're going to go into the last of them. And these are tips that I have gained along the years, especially through going through the hardest times in my life. Not that this is a hard time in my life, any stretch of the imagination. It isn't at all. It's just an off week. Like, I'm having a super off week. And that off week is started out with work. For those of you who don't know, yes, I have my business. I have my goal coaching business. I still work a corporate job. I crack up when people say I work a 9 to 5. Dude, my shit's not 9 to 5. I mean, I usually have 8 o'clock in the morning meetings. I'm writing emails at midnight. My shit is not a 9 to 5. It just isn't. It just cracks me up. It never, ever was. First of all, my hours are 9 to 6. So let's talk about that for a second. But anyway, I digress as always, but it started with work, just like not having a good work week. And it sucks because I'm not that person that started my business because I hate my corporate job. That's not it at all. I actually love what I do. I work in the fashion industry. I love creating somebody's vision and creating that for them and making this amazing thing. And I love seeing it in the store, just like it just gives me, I love product development. I absolutely love product development and it brings me so much joy. And the reason why I started my goal coaching business is like, if you think about it, it's kind of like intertwined a little. It's like, I want to help people create something, as my dog sits next to me and sneezes. I wanted to help people create this vision of a goal. So something out of nothing. It's kind of that same thing. It's not product development, but it's development. It's like really creating, something out of nothing. I just like love it. But anyway, a lot of shifts at work, a lot of politics, a lot of things happening there. And not so great feelings. It hasn't been great in a bit, but that's okay. It's always like, there's always some hard times and, the corporate life's tough, man. It's like super tough, but it's okay. Like it's okay. Saying myself now, like if I keep saying it's okay, maybe it will actually fucking be okay. But it started with that. My great uncle passed away this week and 89 years of amazing life, but, it made me think of my grandparents, and that I could cry right now, but that put me in a space of pure gratitude for having my grandparents into my 20s. But they were such a big part of my life for such a long time. I think about them. There is not a day that goes by. I think about them every minute of every day. And I really do think about them in things that I do in life. I think about them in my own goals, and I always want them to be proud, even though, like, oh my God, I could be laying on the couch and my grandparents were amazing. All 4 of them would be proud. Oh, she's laying on the couch. And I'm all like now nasally. Yeah, it was just a week that was a struggle. I started my challenge in my Facebook group. I just couldn't get on for the past 2 days, which after I record this podcast, I will be getting back on track with that. But I felt like super guilty. I passed out on the couch last night and I was supposed to go live. Yeah, I passed out and I woke up at like 12:30, and this is the second time this week that I did that. And I was really hard on myself when I woke up. This morning I got up and I was like, wow, I haven't posted on Instagram. I've skipped this week on my podcast just because life happens and these things have went on in life this week. But I was really hard on myself. And then I had filmed this reel on Monday. So Monday I had filmed this reel and I put it in my drafts. And then the week, like I said, just got ahead of me. I didn't post anything all week. I'll leave the link for my Instagram and for that specific reel down below. But it was 3 things in your goal journey, the only 3 things in your goal journey that matter. And it was lead with gratitude. It's what I say at the end of every podcast. Lead with gratitude, celebrate the small wins, and give yourself grace. And I was like, okay, I was meant to open up my drafts because I was like, I haven't filmed a reel. What do I have in my drafts that I can work on, tweak, and post? And that was it. And I don't even remember doing that Monday morning. I have no recollection. So it was just like, okay, meant to be. I'm going to just give this little story before I jump into this because I'm not perfect. Just, no one is perfect. Life happens. Things happen in life. And I'm not having a disgusting week and like my life isn't in the shitter, but it's just like I'm having a week. I'm just having a week. I try to be really good about compartmentalizing work. I used to never be good at that, like ever. And I really got really good at it this year. Like I was really, really good at it because it hasn't been a great year at work since January. But when people are just mean, I don't know, there's no need. The catty and that, I couldn't compartmentalize because I was just like, I don't know. It made me feel like, wow, I think I've surrounded myself with such great people. And I've really learned to understand that the people that you surround yourself around is actually very important. And when you have somebody in your life that is incredibly negative, if you have constant, I don't mean like everybody needs a friend and needs help when they're going through some shitty stuff. I mean, I still to this day say, I don't even know how my best friend is my best friend because the shit that I probably dragged her down in my like whirlwind of life when I was going through my separation, I swear she doesn't listen to this, but if she even knew what she means to me, you would have no idea. Anyway, I just couldn't not cool people, like I don't want to get into it, but it really fucked me up. It really threw me for a loop and it fucked up my world. Like somebody and then this goes back to my relationship with my ex-husband. I let somebody fuck up my shit. Like I actually let them fuck up my shit. I really let that happen. And I can't believe I did it again. And it's a blip in time. It's just a week and a half. It's all it is. It's fine, but not fine at the same time. But you recognize your bad shit, you recognize your bad habits, and you move on. So let's get into this now that we've recognized our shit and we've kind of recapped my really bad week, really learning how to flip it around. And I think that this is a great way to kind of let you know that it happens all the time to every one of us. And that's why I put together these tips because it is so important to have something to tap into when you're feeling this kind of way. So I am super excited to have part 2 of tips to remove your blocks, to turn your overwhelm into happiness, and just flip that fucking script so that you feel just better. So these are in no particular order. We ended up with tip number 12, I believe, in part 1. So we're gonna go into tip number 13. Sundays are for fun days or rest days. So this is something that I started to do quite a while ago. So while yes, Sundays should be for fun, or some days should be for relaxation. I've been doing a lot of Sunday relaxations, to be honest. I've been doing for like a bit now of a Sunday phone detox, and really I'm chilling out on a Sunday. Sundays should be for fun or rest, but it also should be for a time that you could set your week up for success. So I love that. I think that that's really important. It kind of invigorates you a little, like getting ready for the week, excited, that's awesome. Number 14 is donate your time or money to a charity or nonprofit in your neighborhood, and really working on that community pillar. So as you know, I talk about it in every episode, so here we go. But there is 10 life pillars in my program. It's called the 90-Day Transformation, and there is 10 life pillars. One of those life pillars is community. It's really important to build community. Now, this could be community within your neighborhood, like your actual community. This could be community of like-minded people. For example, I'm trying to build a community on Facebook where it's like-minded people looking to achieve goals in their life and really saying, I've had enough. I want to achieve goals. Whatever those goals are, it doesn't matter. and a community of people where we can help each other. Yes, it's me doing free trainings and all of that in this space, but it's also a place for people to chat with each other and meet each other and learn about each other and help each other. There are things that maybe Sally is doing that Judy doesn't know, or whatever the case may be. I don't know a Sally nor a Judy, just say. It gives you this sense of belonging to something. People have the same kind of vibe, same kind of feeling. So yes, could it be donating money to, like, we have a park in our neighborhood. It's called Westerly Park. They have Westerly Coalition. I've been telling Richie this like all year, but I'm like, I really want to get involved in the Westerly Coalition, and I really want to be a part of doing things in the park and stuff. So a little interruption from this episode. I wanted to share two things with you. One is I just created a Facebook group called the Happy Life Goal Getters. This group, I'm going to do free training and build our community where we can learn and grow from each other, and I can help you achieve your happy life through your goals. I'm so excited to do this. I cannot wait to see you in there. Below in the show notes, I'm going to have the link for the Facebook group, but you can also search Happy Life Goal Getters in the group section of Facebook, and it should pop up there. And the second thing is my 90-day transformation program. I am accepting 5 new clients for the summer and into the early fall. This 90-day transformation program is absolutely amazing. It includes one-on-one weekly training via Zoom, daily or weekly texts, depending on your needs for accountability. I then create a vision board based on your goals, aspirations, and dreams, and that is the cover of your personalized 3-month planner. I cannot wait to meet with you and learn all about your goals and how I can help you achieve your happy life. Let's get back into the episode. Number 15 is saving small has a big impact. So saving money, and the reason why this is on here as like a way of happiness or like removing blocks is because, and we talked a little bit about finances in part 1, finances are like a huge stressor. And I said the same thing in part 1, but they are like a big deal. I really want to get to a place also in my life where money doesn't have a negative connotation. Like, money should have positivity. Money brings a bunch of great things to life. And I don't mean material things, but money also brings a sense of freedom. It gives you a sense of security. It gives you all these things that are forget the materialistic bullshit that money can buy. Yes, money can buy things. We know that, whatever. But having money or having even a small savings or something that you could lean back on is this amazing sense of security. You know, okay, I got this. Like, some shit goes down, I got this. So it's really important. And this is something that I work on every day. I read a bunch of books on money now. I never have before. I think it's disgusting that you're not taught about money in school in a way that is a valuable life lesson. Taught about credit cards, like all those things. I feel like I'm just starting at 45 to like understand shit. I gotta get my shit together, and I'm 45. I should be well together. So I have a couple of things that I started to create. I have some savings games. So I have this Save $1,000 in 30 days PDF. I can send it to you for free. Just shoot me a DM. It's just _Jen_NY. The other one is so you start off with week 1, and don't ever feel like, oh, I'll have to start January week 1. Just start now. Week 1 is now, is this minute. It's $1 for the first week, $2 for the second week, $3 for this third week, $4 for the fourth week, so on and so on. I play that game. There's also the envelope game where you can buy envelopes, but you could write 1 to 150 or 1 to 100 on the envelope. And when you have some extra money, or maybe you make it a habit of doing it every time you get paid, you pull an envelope, and whatever the number amount on that envelope, no matter what, you got to put it in there. That's kind of cool too. Just these little things that you could do. I do Change is a big thing with us in this house. I am not a person that has change ever because I'm terrible of never having cash on me. Richie pays with everything with cash. So he always has change. So we have been dumping change and I've been rolling change and all that stuff. And then we've been like saving it, just throwing it in a savings account. And you would be surprised how much that adds up to. It's always great when you could relieve a stress in your life and take the pressure off slightly, whatever it is. And that's why I always say, little things equal big impact, because it's all about the feeling. It's not about the actual thing. It's about how you feel about it. If you feel shitty about money, then like money's always going to be a shitty thing for you. But if you can relieve the pressure a little and do these little things and ease up a little on the pressure, you could just feel better about that thing that maybe is a little bit uncomfortable for you. Number 16 is learn something new. When you learn something new, you have a sense of accomplishment, you have a sense of being proud about yourself, you have all those things. I'm going to just tell you what my latest thing that I learned that made me have such a self-accomplishment. I was solely proud of myself. Is everybody talks about Notion. So I don't know if you guys know about Notion, but it's kind of a organizational tool. I actually now use Notion for all of my planning out of my business, and it is notion.so is the website. It's completely free. You can do everything on that. Like I have a happy life dashboard, I call it. And in it, I have my daily tasks. I have then backlinks to like I call it my content creation hub. I have a backlink to like Jen Desiderato LLC. So it's my business, like things that I need to do for my business. My cover on that is my vision board, like all these great things that I have at my travel dashboard, what to pack. And I've made this, which, oh my God, I could totally send this to you guys. We went to Wildwood for my dad's 70th birthday. My brother came over to pick something up and he's like watching me pack. He's like, are you kidding me? I'm like, this is a game changer. Don't make fun. I have like all my outfits and then you just click and like, it's just all the things. Don't ever forget anything because it's just got everything here. If you didn't click it, you didn't pack it. Again, I digress because I'm going on a tangent. But that was something I learned new, and it actually took me a really long time to learn because I was like, backlinks, what are that? It sounds confusing. There's so many people that sell Notion templates. There's so many people that teach it on YouTube and stuff. I found it on YouTube. Then I got like in the YouTube hole of, I love YouTube tutorials. I got into the YouTube hole Friday night, my big Friday night out. I created this happy life dashboard for myself that has everything. More than happy to share because you could share Notion templates with people. Number 17 is practice self-care. And I have talked about self-care podcasts with Karina Rodriguez. She is a self-love expert. We talked a lot about this, what self-care can be. Yes, taking a bubble bath, having a glass of wine. I love giving myself a face mask, lighting a candle and chilling. That is my ultimate. I love doing that. But we talked about in that podcast of being your own best friend, taking yourself out. But it also can be taking yourself for a walk, giving yourself time for you. It could be the 5 minutes in the morning that you get up earlier than anybody else in your house so you can just ease into the day. That is self-care. That seriously, I think actually that's the best piece of advice is making sure that you are caring for you so you can care for everyone around you. It's so important to do that. And I didn't realize that for such a long time. And your happiness is not in another. It's not in another human being. Your happiness is within. When you realize that, and when that really clicks with you, your life will fucking change. Especially if you're like me. I'm a people pleaser. I don't know how to say no to anybody. And the one thing was like, I gotta make everyone else around me happy. I realize I have to make me happy first so I could be the best person for everybody else. And then I can help everybody the way I need to help them. And the way they need me to show up for them every day is I have to show up for myself first. When you show up for yourself, what you could give to others is mind-blowing. Number 18 is journaling. If you're not into it, get into it. I mean, you don't have to write this like long ass journal every day, this long ass entry every day. Just start your day with 3 things that you're grateful for and write them down. If you're not a journaler, just get a piece of paper or open your notes app in your phone if you don't feel like doing that. I love to write. I love to write things down. So open your notes app in your phone or write it down. The 3 things that you're grateful for in the morning. That's it. close the book, click the phone off, whatever. That is it. You've just journaled, okay? Don't make it be that serious. Another amazing thing that you could do is open up that book or open up that notes app before you go to sleep at night. And what were the 3 things, the 3 bright lights for the day? Because sometimes we have a bitch ass day. Like, I'm sorry, this day sucked. It was so bad. That happens. But what were the 3 bright lights? It could be like, oh my God, but I had an amazing grilled cheese. Make your mind go off on what are the 3 bright lights. The 3 bright lights don't have to be this great thing. It could just be the stupidest, dumbest thing, but they were like cool. Like, oh my God. Oh, I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw this girl to follow and she was so inspirational. And I was scrolling on Instagram and I saw this great corset. I don't know people, but like 3 small bright lights if you're having a bad day. That's all. 3 small bright lights. Bam, you journaled. Number 19 is networking. I did not originally have this on my list. Filmed a podcast with Andrea, and Andrea owns Out of the Darkness Candle Company. Andrea will be on episode 7. She'll be on next week's episode. We had an amazing conversation, and in that conversation, I actually I think I told her in there, I was like, I'm writing these 2 things down to add to my ebook. But it's amazing things of what can happen when you network. I'm going to go back to talking to Andrea. Andrea texted me after our podcast. Andrea shot me a text like a couple of days later and she's like, she sent me a voice note actually on Instagram. And she was like, I have this crazy idea. And she was just going on and on and on. And I was like, I fucking love this woman. Like, we've never physically met in person, but I love her. She cracks me up. And she was going, and her ideas were awesome. And like, we might build this thing together. And yeah, I would have never known this woman if I didn't network. You don't know what could come out of networking. And I felt very uneasy networking in the beginning when I started my business. I'm like, but wait, I'm going to network with these people. Some of them were also having a coaching business. Some of them were having other businesses. I met them through a challenge. I met them through all these different things, which is why I did my challenge too, because I wanted people to meet each other and things have evolved from it. And it's not about competition at all. It's about what you get out of each other and how you boost each other up. And networking could be such a great thing. And I've also been talking with a friend of mine who, she doesn't live here, but her mom is my neighbor and she lives in Pennsylvania. And she started this little networking group, which I don't even think it's little. I shouldn't say that, but I think it's pretty decent. And they go out to dinner and they do all these things once a month and have a speaker. And I was like, we were chatting and I was like, I'd love to do that here. When she gets back from vacation, it's like something we're going to think about. All these great things can come out of it. I have like this vision of doing a small business social. And I don't want it to be like a fair, like people have like a fair and there's people just selling things. I want to call it a small business social. I want people to come together that have small businesses, showcase their businesses, gain new clients, do all that. I wouldn't have thought of any of these things if I didn't network. So it's really important. You don't have to network just to have a business. I think it's great to network with other moms. And, if you're a mom and, network with other moms, there's so many things that could come out of it. We're going to have my brother's going to be on this podcast soon. He's going to talk about community. And I also want to talk about networking with him because, he does amazing things within the PTA. He's a PTA president in 2 schools. He's on the school board. He does all these great things. And there's so many things that we're going to talk about in his podcast about how you can, as a parent, you can be involved and why you need to be involved and why it's so important to be involved. But anyway, that's all comes about with networking. So I thought that was an amazing thing to add. So thank you, Andrea, for having me add that to this. I'm going to add it to my ebook. Number 20, being creative. Creativity is such an outlet for depression. It's an outlet for anxiety. It's an outlet for all these things that you have going on. A while back, I started this thing called Chalking. So it was a network marketing company. I didn't go into it to sell it, to be honest, at all. I did not go into it to sell it. I went into it, I was feeling a little I went into it to do something creative, like make something. And I started selling it and I met some great people doing that. But being creative, it's an outlet, whatever that is for you. Even doing this podcast is a creative outlet for me. Like, it is creative. Like I made an intro, I made an outro, like I made all these, like I made these things. Like it sounds crazy, but it's so cool to me. I learned this. I had no idea how to do any of this shit. Like I don't know how to edit. I don't know how to do that. I spent the time to learn, and that's also something else that we've already talked about, learning something new. This is also creative. Like it's super creative and I love it. I love the connection, community, like it all comes together. It's like it's really amazing. I'm going off on a tangent because I'm super hyper, but thank you again, Andrea, because she created her business through a creative outlet herself, and we're going to hear all about her next week. But just so you guys can, I want to give her props for like having me add this to my list. Number 20 is to find a mentor. I think that it's so important. And I know, yes, I'm a coach and I'm going to talk about, how I can help you, but I think that it's really important to find a mentor in your life. I've had mentors, and I didn't realize that they were mentors until I got older, but like my grandmother, and I talked about my grandparents earlier, but my grandmother was a mentor to me. I didn't know that because I didn't really realize what a mentor was, but mentorship in itself is so important. The company that I work for right now, way back when, they don't have it anymore, but they used to have a mentor program, and next thing you're trying to build your career, that's important. It was such a valuable program. I got so much out of it. You met with this person once a week. You had a problem at work, you were able to go to them and talk them out, but they talked to them. But they weren't in your department. They weren't your boss. They weren't like somebody like that. They were somebody, next level up that was completely in another department, but they helped you problem solve and like figure that out. And I think that that's so important. And I love that. And I love helping people. So that's why being a goal coach is like a mentorship. It's like you're mentoring somebody to get to their desires, their dreams, their aspirations, their goals, right? So that is something that, I would love to be your mentor. Check out a mentor. Like, what can they do for you? Do offer a 30-minute breakthrough call. And this call is not a sales call. I just want to repeat that this is not a sales call. I changed the way I did this. It used to be a sales call in a sense, I guess. I would share my screen. I would take people through what my planner looks like for you and all that stuff. But I've completely changed how I do this breakthrough call because I don't want to sell you. I want to help you. So that's what this breakthrough call is. If you get anything out of it and just want to it's really about you, what your goals are and what your roadblocks are and how can I help you. And if you want to work with me and go further, that's great. If you don't, no problem. I have a bunch of free resources. I have a free Facebook group. I have a free ebook. I have other things. I have this podcast that's free. Like those things that you can delve into if you don't want to take me on as a coach, which is fine. I really wanted to figure out how I can help people and not do a sales call and do a breakthrough call. So that's kind of what that is. My last tip, people, this is it. It's the last tip. The last tip is so easy. It is something you could do right this second. Have manners. Say please, thank you, excuse me, God bless you. Have manners. Be a courteous driver. Open the door for somebody. Be nice to people. Say hello. Smile. Simple. You'll be amazed at what those things can do for your life. Just be kind. That's it. Be kind. And people that don't have manners piss me off. I don't understand people that don't have manners. It costs $0 to be nice. You want to change your life? Be nice. $0. I am going to leave you with that. I thank you guys so much for joining me. I apologize for the nasalness. I had a severe allergy attack this morning, but I needed to film this. I felt invigorated when I woke up and did my reel after having such a shitty week. I hope you got a lot out of this. This is also my ebook. So if you want a PDF or downloadable with this ebook, please send me a note and I will email that to you right away. The best way to catch me is of course on Instagram. My Facebook group I am in constantly. That is another great way to catch me. Everything is in the show notes. Please reach out. I would love to help. And if you want a 30-minute breakthrough call to talk about you let me know. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Please reach out. My Instagram and email are below in the show notes. I would love to hear from you, what you would want to hear more of, or if just you simply need some help and want to ask some questions, I would love to tackle them for you. Remember to celebrate the small wins. Little things equal big impact. Lead with gratitude and remember to give yourself grace. Have an amazing week.